Started for our next guest. Man, he's the go-to guy in rock and roll. I love this guy. He got up early for me. Please welcome to that Jamieson show, Roy Mayorga. All right, we just need some audio from you, brother.
Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go. He's got his coffee. He's ready to go.
What's up, man?
So is that your home studio behind you, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
That's a lot of buttons there. What is that one behind your right shoulder all the way in the top in the middle?
That?
Yeah.
This is a Moog modular.
Okay, and that does, what does that do?
Makes a lot of noise. Makes a lot of weird noises. And I got another thing back here that makes a lot of weird noises too. Actually, what's even cooler about this one, you guys are familiar with Edgar Winter, Frankenstein?
Yeah.
That makes the sound, the craziest sound in that middle bridge, and it does all his lead work is done with that synthesizer. That's why I love that synthesizer. And I love Edgar Winter.
I want to, yeah, man. Well, I wanted to ask you about that, man, because, you know, obviously you're known so well in the rock scene as being the drummer, you know, most recently Stone Sour and Hell Yeah. But on your Instagram page, and this surprised me, I've kind of gotten to know you over the years, and I didn't know this, but, you know, your tagline is, you know, all things drums and synthesizers. So now we're seeing it. What's the love with the synthesizers?
Well, I mean, I actually got into this a few days ago. Someone asked me about it. Actually, I was doing a thing on DW, a playlist party thing. And the first time I ever heard a synthesizer was Edgar Winter, Frankenstein. And it was that synthesizer, ARP 2600. So my fascination with drums and synthesizers, hard rock, heavy music, was from that song. So from there on, it pretty much, you know, wrote itself after that.
So when you're in your studio, are you more working on music through synthesizers or more with your drums, or you just kind of split it up?
I mean, I don't really, when I walk into this room, I really don't have an agenda. I just kind of, whatever I feel, I'll walk to the drums, or I'll walk to the synthesizers, you know. I go to the drums first mostly, you know, because it's easy. I don't have to turn everything on. I just sit down and I start playing and just, you know, let myself go kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, and so I'm assuming that you combine those two loves, or are they very separate kind of musical endeavors for you?
I combine them both at times. I mean, most of the time I'll just do drums and, you know, record to, you know, do some session work and record with other people, or I'll just do compositions only on this stuff and work on some film things like I'm working on right now, or I will start on drums and then incorporate synthesizers with drums, vice versa. I have a bunch of stuff written already that I'm waiting to slowly, you know, assemble and put out eventually.
That's an interesting way for you know, composing a piece of music. You know, you hear from a lot of people who say, you know, I sit down, I write all my songs, even some of the heaviest stuff that you'll hear. The guy, you know, I wrote it on an acoustic guitar. But you sort of have a different method to your madness, which is interesting. You know, you sit down behind the drums, maybe come up with a beat, and then start to program some stuff around it, and next thing you know, you have a song, huh?
Yeah, or just a simple like sound from this thing, just like a pulse, like a dit, 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 dit. It will, you know, it'll make me want to add more things. I'll go to a piano, or I'll go to guitar, or I'll start with a tom beat and then work something from here. It's all relevant. You know? Yeah,
yeah. So, you know, we showed the Stone Sour clip before, so I wanted to talk a little bit about your time in Stone Sour, who are, I guess right now, can we say on hiatus? Or I don't think there's a finality to this band, is there? Maybe I'm wrong.
We're on hiatus for the moment, yeah.
Well, Corey, you know, because Corey's been on with me, and obviously to talk about his solo album, doing something a little different. Look, I always feel like the more creative stuff people in a band do, the better for everybody. I certainly think there's that Stone Sour will be back, but you would know better than I would. But he seems to be able to juggle all his stuff pretty well between Slipknot, Stone Sour, solo.
I mean, the guy never stops working. It's amazing to me. I mean, I'm blown away by just the momentum he has. You know, it's pretty cool. You know, it's like he'll write a book, he'll do a solo album, he'll go to Slipknot, he'll do Stone Sour. He's constantly moving. Yeah, great.
Yeah, the sober guys get a lot of work done, man. I'll tell you. But everything he does, it seems, you know, turns to gold. But the thing that I noticed, Roy, about Stone Sour, because I liked all the records all the way up through Hydrograd, certainly, but I think the band really blew up a lot more when you came on, and Christian, and you know, and Chow, and when to me, when it really became a true band, because you know he had different people come in and out over the years, everyone from Jim Root from Slipknot to Rachel Bolan from Skid Row. But I think when it became a real band, that's where it really started to happen. I mean, did you guys feel that initially?
I guess. I mean, I never really sat back and just thought about that. It kind of just went with the flow, you know, and just went with it. I guess, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because it seems like the biggest success of the band really, you know, obviously he had been growing it for years, but there's just something, yeah, just something intangible about, especially that last record, where it was just like, yeah, there's something other level here with this particular group of musicians.
Well, the only other difference too was we recorded it a certain way. We recorded it live all together in one room. We didn't do it like that the last couple of records, because most of the time, I mean, every record I've made with Stone Sour, it was basically to a click track and pre-recorded demo guitars, and then they would kind of strip that away and then re-record to me and build on top of whatever I put down. But this way, we actually recorded it live together. We did the same thing in my room here in the studio before all this stuff was in here. I had all the guys in here, and we record live, you know, to Pro Tools here. So we had the idea of doing the same thing when we went to the actual studio with Jay.
With Jay Rustin, yeah, who's the go-to guy in hard rock and metal these days, and just as
amazing engineer, great producer, amazing guy. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, truly a great guy, and did a great job with Hydrograd. And yeah, I have no doubt, you know, when Corey's you know, moved on from doing the solo stuff, Stone Sour will be back. It's grown into such a cool thing. And again, it's just, man, that combination of musicians, just for whatever reason, is just is really special. And I can attest from being backstage with you guys many times, it's like you guys like each other. You know, nobody's in different dressing rooms. Like everyone's in the same room hanging.
Yeah, it's great. We really do, man. I miss those guys a lot, man. Actually, I miss playing with people. I haven't played with anyone since last February. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's. I was just talking with my buddy just about the music scene in general, and you know, Dr. Fauci is starting to sort of address now that industry, which you know, finally. You know, because I think it's one of the few, if not the only industry that's been completely just shut down, no questions asked. There's really been almost no leeway for performing artists. What have you been? Obviously, you stay creative in your studio, but have you been anything? Have you done any of the quarantine jams or any of that stuff? Does that kind of fill any void for you?
I actually haven't done many. I've done one. And it was it was a Sick of It All cover I did with Jason Christopher, who's the bass player of Corey's band. He was singing. We actually had Craig Satari from Sick of It All come in and play one of his songs with us, and Craig from Agnostic Front. It was just one song. It was great. It was fun, but I haven't really done it other than that. It's been kind of keeping busy doing other things.
Right. Well, you're a family guy as well, and I hope you guys have all been healthy and clean during all this.
Yeah, man, you too. I hope so for you as well, and everyone else. And yeah,
No, the isolation's tough. You know, I'm a performer as well, so you know, for the comics, we've been able to get back out there again because you know we don't require road crews or tour managers or things like that, and you know, we can kind of we're able to go and play in front of a smaller crowd of socially distant people. But yeah, it's been such a heartbreak on every level with all types of music, not just rock and roll, you know, just fans of music in general. So you know, hopefully, you know, the fact that they're even making a statement about, you know, music coming back, it's hopefully a good sign. You know, probably looking closer towards the end of 2021. Maybe not quite the summer yet. Maybe a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up on that part. I actually have no idea like what is going on. Like, what are they saying exactly?
Well, just I think the last thing Fauci put out was like, yeah, I think, you know, theater-size venues, you know, things up to theater-size venues will be able to open up by the fall. At what capacity, I don't know. I'm sure that's going to depend state to state. And hey, listen, let's face it, it also depends on your sensibility or your sensitivity or my sensitivity. I know comics who have not worked at all and won't work until they feel 100% comfortable or they have had the vaccine, and there are musicians who feel that way. So wherever you are on that scale will depend on when you want to start working again.
I feel the same way. I mean, like, I definitely don't want to get on a plane anytime soon, and I don't want to do anything until everything is, you know, settled. And yeah, I want the vaccine as well.
Okay.
I'm not getting in a room anytime soon until all that stuff is cleared up.
Yeah. Again, so with the meeting, we work solo, so I only have to make the decision for me. I don't have to put anybody else at any kind of risk. Whereas you have 4 or 5 guys in a band, everyone's got to be on board. And then again, then it's up to will you be able to find the road crew to be able to go out with you? Will you be able to line up enough dates to make it worthwhile? It's a really tough situation.
How often do you get to go out and perform?
You know, depending on pretty much every week, you know.
Wow.
But, you know, it's not like a tour. You know, I might have a gig on a Friday or Saturday. You know, I got next weekend, I'm going to be down in Atlantic City doing a show down there with a bunch of comics from this this webcast network. And, you know, they do a good job with the theater down there. It's a small theater. It'll be at 25% capacity, socially distanced. We did it a few months ago. You know, it was great. It felt very comfortable for us, very comfortable for the audience members. And but again, it depends on everyone's sensitivity. Do you want to do it or do you want to wait it out? So that, you know, that's where we are. But yeah, if comics want to work, they can work.
Don't have that choice right now. I wish I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And dude,
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So it'd be great to play with someone again. You know, it's like it's been, you know, the whole time just via internet. You know, I get tracks sent to me and sending them back and forth to people and friends overseas or anywhere. You know, it's been really weird working that way only. You know, and not having any interaction with someone in a room because it's a different animal, as you know. You know.
Oh yeah, and especially with you know, I did a couple virtual shows, you know, for doing stand up, which, you know, it's hey, it was a gig, I got paid, you know, but it's
how weird. How do you do the laughs? No laughs, yeah. No audience, nothing.
Well, that doesn't bother me, Roy. You've seen me in action. Come on. Hey, one of the coolest. This is the God's honest truth. One of the coolest gigs ever in my career was opening for Stone Sour at Rock on the Range. That was so cool, you know, and that's just testament to Corey and you guys, like, being very open artistically to trying different things. And when the people at Rock on the Range mentioned it about maybe having me and Florentine, you know, open the show for you guys and open the festival, man, that was what a cool night. You know, and it really, for us, could have been a disaster. You know, it was the night after, you know, we knew we lost Chris Cornell, and, you know, Florentine and I we're freaking out because it's like, everybody in this room knows what happened. Nobody's going to laugh here.
That was such a heavy night. I remember that night, man. Fuck. So fucking horrible. Yeah.
But but what it turned out to be was a room full of people who really needed to just
Definitely.
let everything out. And from the time that I went up through the time you guys finished, I mean, we all could have went till 3 in the morning if we wanted to, because that audience just, they needed to just let every emotion out. And man, that night I'll never forget, man. There was just something extra in the air, man.
I missed you three together. I missed your show.
It was cool, man. It was really good. It was really good to hear people laugh and then transition it right into you guys, man. It was a really special night. So I hope we can. I know we'll be able to do it again, and hopefully we see some light at the end of the tunnel. You know, obviously you're involved in multiple bands, of course. You know, the band Hell Yeah. You know, picking up that heavy mantle of you know, us losing Vinnie Paul and kind of stepping in and doing some shows with those guys, man. That must have been a bittersweet call in some ways.
Very much so, man. I mean, you said it, bittersweet. That's just probably the best way to explain it. But I'm happy I was there to help the guys, you know, get through it and, you know, carry the torch for Vinny. And, you know, he was a great guy. We love him. We miss him. You know, it's like, it's pretty heavy, you know, but definitely honored to be the guy that they called to help them do that.
Yeah. Why do you think that was? Do you think it was your friendship with Vinny, or?
I think that definitely had something to do with it. And, you know, I've known all the guys for a long time. Even, you know, I've known Chad even before he was in Hell Yeah, and Tom from when he was in Nothing Face. Kyle, I was in a band with, you know, so I think that all helped. That all was, you know, made sense to them to, I guess, to give me a call. You know? Yeah. And I think Vinny. I was really, you know, good friends with Vinny, and, you know, it was really, yeah, it was heavy, man.
Yeah, an honor, but yet, you know, definitely a lot of pressure, because the fans are the ultimate critics, right? Especially these days. Yeah. You know, maybe, you know, to me, part of it too, and you were so accepted by the fans, which I was so happy, because, you know, I know you as a guy. I know what a great dude you are, and your musical talents speak for themselves. But you know, maybe Vinny already recording parts for the last album maybe took a little pressure off you, so it didn't feel like, hey, now we're going right back in the studio with another drummer, and it gave people time to get used to a new guy back there, and also just get used to the fact that Vin's not with us anymore, which I in some ways still can't believe. Yeah,
I mean, that's definitely one thing that, I mean, I got to admit, though, while I'm playing the show, I'm not thinking about it. But when it dawns on me every now and then while I'm playing, that I'm like in his seat right now. There's his band. And it's just like, holy shit moment. Like totally just get really upset, you know, just thinking about, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is a reality. And then the video montage comes on with Vinny, and that's when it really hits. You know, it's heavy, man.
Yeah,
so tragic. You know, it sucks.
Yeah,
great
man.
Drum, man. I mean, there's definitely some pressure there, man. You know, as I really wanted to get his parts, you know, as close as possible. You know, because his parts are, you know, they're not easy. A lot, you know, they're not easy to play, especially the way he plays. He leads a lot with his left. That's kind of what I've realized when I was learning his parts. Like a lot of his footwork, he starts with his left foot, which I don't. I start with my right. But he leads drum rolls with his left. Some. It's weird how he plays. It's amazing. His style is just unbelievable. And yeah, so much pocket. Like, to me, he was like the John Bonham of metal. You know, thrash metal. For sure. No,
agreed, man. You know, him and Dime, both major groundbreakers. That makes, but so that's interesting stylistically, Roy, which is like, you know, you go from a band like Stone Sour over to Hell Yeah, and that's a completely different style. And like you said, you're trying to emulate, you know, a style that people know very well. It's part of their DNA. Man, I mean, if someone asked me to go from doing one-liner comedy one night to storyteller the next night. I can't do that. Like, as a musician, how do you do that? Like, how do you switch that headspace, or even just physically?
Well, with Vinny, I try to, like, I found out, like, generally found out, like, what his influences were. So I started there, and I started listening to, bands that he liked. Started listening to drummers he liked, especially like Alex Van Halen. I listened to a lot of Alex Van Halen. I listened to a lot of John Bonham. I already listened to John Bonham, so that was our common bond when we first met each other anyway. So I concentrated mostly on those two drummers, and then started listening to even more Pantera, learning some more Pantera songs on my own before learning the Hell Yeah stuff. So when I went to learn the Hell Yeah stuff, it made it a little bit more familiar, like his nuances and stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really hard to imitate someone's personality. No one's ever going to be able to imitate someone to the T, because only that person can be them. You know what I mean? I can only be me. So the best thing I could do is just try to play his parts as close as possible and infuse it with myself and just make it seamless, the best I can. That's all you can do.
Yeah, of course. But that's interesting that you do your homework in terms of, you're going back to his influences, and then that can't help.
Right. I want to do it right for the band. I want to do it right for the fans. So I want it to be right for everyone.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. You're well loved on the rock scene, but it was funny. Following you on Instagram, I really start to see that your roots really are as a young punk rocker coming up in the world, man. So that's your original love was coming up through punk rock music, huh?
Well, all through the 80s, yeah. Before that, though, I grew up in the 70s. I was born in 1970. So my first 10 years of my life, all I listened to was, what was around at the time, like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Kiss. I mean, Kiss, I was a big Kiss fan, still am, Kiss Alive was like my first record, my first real rock record, and all the Kiss records after that, and, Black Sabbath, and then Lizzie, Rush, and then from there, the gateway to punk for me was the Ramones, and then I got into Devo, and then I got into Police, and I got into Joy Division, and, Killing Joke, and this band, Television, another New York band from like
this is where all the synthesizer love comes in.
Well, the synthesizer love was definitely stamped when I discovered Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
That's what really did it for me. When I first heard Trans Europe Express on the radio, which is probably like 77 or 78. And I was already hell-bent into Kiss by that point. But I heard Trans Europe Express on the radio. I'm like, what the hell is this? I never heard anything so perfect. Like, how are they making the drums so perfect? What is that keyboard sound is even crazier and weirder than the sound I heard in Frankenstein. So once I got a hold of that, I saw what they looked like, and I saw the gear. I was like, this is great. And it's kind of, the drums and synthesizers kind of like went together with me the whole time ever since then. Yeah. Hey,
look, guys, I'm talking to the guys in the control room. If you could put up that photo, that high school photo of Roy from his Instagram, because this is your early punk rock roots. But that's cool, man, because you've had so many. You immerse yourself in so many different types of. There you go. There he is.
That's it. That was my 9th grade or 10th grade picture.
The triple mohawk.
Triple mohawk. Still got one. See?
Yeah, you do. It's down to a single now, but yeah. So, but yeah, it's interesting to hear that you went into the new wave area as well, and then all the bands, obviously that I grew up with, like you said, Black Sabbath, Kiss, and all that, and then you bring all that into what you do, and I know you're also into all kinds of tribal stuff and things like that, and it's funny because I forgot you played on originally also in Soulfly, right? Weren't you on the first record?
Yeah.
And stuff?
Played the first album. Yeah, that was in like 1997. We recorded that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously those guys, incorporate a lot of tribal beats and things like that into their music.
Yeah, because like before that, I mean, how that all came about with the whole tribal thing and learning to play all that stuff. When I first connected with Max, he gave me a lot of different artists to listen to, like for the beats and for influences for that, like bands like Chico Science and the Sounds of Beat, Ola Doom, stuff like that. And I would listen to, you know, all that stuff and just try to soak it in and then just kind of morph it into what I play. And that's what you hear.
Were you playing with Mark Rizzo back then?
Also, no, Rizzo wasn't in the band yet. He was still in El Nino.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. All right, he's one of my Jersey guys. So
I love Mark. He's the best.
Yeah, what a player, man. So underrated. But hey, man, listen, this was a blast. I appreciate you getting up early for me. I always got to depend on
anything.
I got to depend on my family guys and my sober guys on the West Coast to get up early to do the show. So I really appreciate it. Who do you got there?
This is Rodney Dangerfield. As we were talking about him earlier. Listen to this one.
No respect at all. I should share a locker with a pop.
He's still funny, man.
Take that guy up in a truck stop. I love him. He's fucking great.
See, you don't even need me to take on tour. You just take the Rodney doll with you and put him out on stage for a half hour.
We need to get the Don Rickles doll to put next to him. I'm looking for that guy.
Well, that's cool, man. We'll keep drumming, keep synthing, and keep laughing, man. And is there anything else you have to plug? I didn't give you a chance. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? New projects? You said you had something top secret, so I didn't want to bug you.
Well, that's as far as I can go. It's top secret, but people know about it next year or this year, actually.
Yeah. All right. So you'll come back on. You'll talk about top secret stuff.
Yep.
All right, brother. Be well, man.
Dude, great to talk to you. Great to see you, man.
You as well, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Let's make it a good one. There he is, Roy Mayorga. Drummer extraordinaire. Love that dude.